I'm a little bit obsessed with quick release systems. About 5 years ago, I felt the complete opposite. I thought they were a waste of money, that like a cash grab that manufacturers were using. I had noticed that I'd bought some gear in the past, like sliders and gimbals, that when I first got them were really exciting. I was using them all the time. And after a little while, they started collecting dust. I realized that a big part of why I'm not using that gear anymore is because oftentimes a shoot runs behind schedule. And whatever grand ideas I had for using certain gear or getting certain shots that day, it just comes down to making the day, getting out there with all the shots that I needed. So it wasn't just that these items were no longer exciting, it was that over time I was developing habits that were making me look past them towards faster, easier options to implement. Then I took a second look at quick release systems and started looking at reviews and thinking about my own workflow. Now I'm kind of obsessed with quick release systems because it's making me see my old gear in a new light for a relatively small cost. So here are my top 5 quick release systems in order, starting with number 5. The Kondor Blue Mini Lock. Now, this device I love because it has these very anti-twist pins on both sides, on the mounting side and on the device side. And I use the Mini Lock, the Kondor Blue Mini Lock, on the director's monitor that I use. And it's used to mount my Xsoon video receiver. And you can see on the bottom here, the receiver has the area locking pins, which is great. So this is not going to ever spin inside here. It only locks in the open position. It's called the Mini Lock, but it does not lock when it's closed. So you can see here it has some play, and that just doesn't give me the most peace of mind. Basically, anything larger than this, I'd be a little bit worried about it taking a topple. But otherwise, it's a really strong system. Number 4, the Sachtler Touch and Go system. Now, I use this on my PGYTECH 75 legs. It's the Active 8 T head. I got the T version of Touch and Go because it has this little nifty square quick release system. And I opted for this over the side load style because side load obviously it takes a little bit longer because you're slotting it in and then tightening each time you're adding or removing the camera to the tripod. But more than that, I found that I did not want to be setting the counterbalance on the tripod head every time I attach the tripod. I like that, or every time I attach the camera. I like that when I slot it in here, I know exactly that the weight is centered based on the previous counterbalance setting. So you just front forward, really satisfying click, and then to remove it, you pull down on this little red tab here, comes off. Really solid. The reason this isn't any higher is just the expense. It's such an expensive system. Number 3 is the Manfrotto Move system. Now I use this for my tripod legs and heads. So I have the base here on my legs, and then the top I have this Syrup Magic Carpet Pro slider, and I'll demonstrate how it goes on. So it snaps in and then you tighten it. This is really solid now. And if you've ever tried to attach a slider, trying to eyeball where the thread is and spinning this thing around, I did that a couple times and said, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Yeah, I just stopped using sliders. So this is a lot faster. It's not going to wear down. It's not going to strip the threads on my legs. And I was actually really surprised by how secure this connection is. I tried having the slider on a tripod head, and it did give me so much wiggle that I would not trust it at all. It was sagging as soon as the camera went on one side or the other. It was not a good idea. So another satisfying click. That's what we're here for, the clicks, really. The satisfying clicks. I have ADHD, and so trying to figure out what's gonna feed me dopamine is also a big part of purchases I make. You know, those little satisfying click sounds, love it. Great for ADHD brains like mine. Number 2 is the PGYTECH Quick Release system. I use this for some of my cameras. The plate goes in the bottom of the camera right here, pretty low profile, and then it slides in like that. Nice satisfying click, and this button releases it. You can slide this button closed for some extra security so that you're not accidentally releasing the camera while you're just fumbling around below your camera. Now, I use this on my Manfrotto plates. Only thing I don't love about it is that this design means that if the camera has any top heavy elements to it, it's gonna not sit very evenly on a desk surface. It's gonna wanna wobble. The reason that I got this was because I realized that my gimbal was not getting used enough. And I realized that if I have one of these receivers on my gimbal and it's perfectly balanced place for my 35mm lens, then I would never have to balance my gimbal again. I could just take it off the tripod and slot it into the gimbal and it would be ready to go. And that has turned out to be true. I use my gimbal far more now that I use the quick release system. This last one's gonna feel like a joke. It's only kind of a joke. I can't say that it's completely not a joke because it's funny, but these shoelaces, these are elastic laces. And if any of you have shot videos in someone's home before, you're gonna wanna take your shoes off. And if you are bringing gear in from your car and that gear requires several trips, you're gonna start really resenting having shoes that don't have a quick release system. See, I tied it back. Oh, there's a pun. Didn't even intend that. Shoelace tying. I love elastic laces. Doesn't matter what the shoe is. I know there are shoes that are advertised as slip-on shoes. I just like that you can take this quick release system, elastic laces, and apply it to any shoe that you love. The one modification I've made is I found that they're a little bit too long out of the box. So I had to snip the ends and then burn them like a pirate map so that it doesn't unravel further. So if I didn't do that, these loops would get caught and stuff. It makes slip-on life accessible for all types of shoes. And now if somebody needs to be gotten from the car, I'm always the first to be like, oh, I'll get it. It's the little things. I should call this video, It's the Little Things, but no one will click that, so I'm not gonna call it that. So here's my ultimate pitch for quick release systems. Obviously, yes, they save you time, small amounts of time. But more importantly, they are saving cognitive load. What I mean by that is all the small decisions you're making throughout a day, or all the small things you're fixating on, your attention on, those things add up. That it's just taken away from the creative capacity of your brain, taken away from your ability to interface with the client effectively. It's meaning that by the end of the day, you are maybe cutting more corners. You're doing things to preserve the last ounces of brain capacity you have. Happy New Year, Calvin.
Filled with stroopwafels.
All right, I'm gonna finish this and be right upstairs, okay?
Yeah. You can have some.
Thanks, I will. This is not a quick release system, but it is delicious. Now, there's a lot of quick release systems out there. So if any of you have personal experience with another system that you swear by, I want to hear about it, because there's always use case that might necessitate a different system than the one I already have. Okay.
Bye.